Okay, good evening, everyone. Since it's the first meeting of the year, I will call the meeting to order. And we're going to start off this evening by taking votes for the election of chair. Would anyone like to nominate chair?
Well, I'll nominate Bernie.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Bernie, are you willing to accept the nomination?
What if someone else wants to?
I didn't hear anything, but would anyone like to nominate anyone other than Bernie? No.
I would like to thank my nominator and the seconder, and I will accept the nomination. Thank you.
Right on.
All right. And I guess that means I can take over then.
Yes.
I will now open the floor for nominations for vice chair.
Gordon?
Okay, is there a seconder for that nomination?
I'll second that nomination.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Any other nominations for a vice chair? Calling once, calling twice, 3 times. Gordon, will you accept the nomination?
Yes, thank you. I will.
And that gets that out of the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next thing on our agenda is signing authority for any documentation.
So sorry, because we're not changing any names, I think we'll just move to continue with the same names that we've used in the last couple years.
Okay, we do have a resolution for that, so I guess we should officially cover that. So can I have a mover and a seconder for that resolution? David and Elizabeth. It's been moved and seconded that any documentation required by our financial institutions will be duly authorized and executed when signed by any 2 of the following persons, which would be myself, Gordon, or Carrie. Anyone in opposition to this? Seeing none. All right, thank you. And can I get a mover and a seconder to approve the agenda for this evening's meeting? Gordon and David West. It's been moved and seconded that the February 6, 2025 public meeting agenda of the Lakewood Rural Planning Board be approved. All those in opposition? Seeing none, that is approved. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest?
I have none.
Okay. Seeing none, we'll go on to the next item on our agenda, which is a few applications. So take it away, Carrie.
Okay, thank you. So we have 4 applications this evening. I will start with application for a new lot 1B0724. This application was received from Jacob and Tamara Posthumous for the property known locally as 37 Blakey Road in O'Connor Township. The application is proposing the creation of 1 new lot, being about 34.39 hectares in size and leaving a retained lot of just over 16 hectares. All of the applications this evening were circulated to neighboring properties within 60 meters of the subject lands. Notice was posted on the individual properties and agencies required through the Planning Act were circulated by email 14 days prior to tonight's meeting. So in this case, the subject property is fronting on Blakey Road in O'Connor Township, is designated as rural in the official plan and zone rural in the zoning bylaw. The properties are abutted by additional rural lots in all directions. The proposed new lot will front on Highway 95, but also along Blakey. So depending on where the applicants choose to put access, the new lot will require either an entrance permit from the MTO or from the O'Connor Township office. We did not receive any public comments. We received agency comments from Enbridge, Hydro One, and Mines, all stating no concerns. And these comments have been sent to the applicant. And then we received a letter from O'Connor Council stating that they discussed the application at their January 27th meeting and passed a resolution approving the severance. So it would be my recommendation that this application be approved with our usual conditions.
Thank you for that, Carrie. I see we have some people in attendance today. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of this application?
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, in favor. I'm Jacob Posmuth, and yeah, I'm all in favor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this application? Seeing none, are there any questions from the members of this board for Carrie or for the applicant? Okay, let's move on to application number 2.
Okay, so this application is 1B0824, received from Taveen and William Ty for their property known locally as 129 Holland Road West in Conmee Township. This application is for the creation of one new lot of 2.5 hectares, leaving a retained lot of 11.57 hectares. Subject property currently fronts on Holland Road in Conmee Township, designated as rural in the official plan and zone rural in the zoning bylaw. The new lot would also front on Holland Road. Property is abutted by additional rural lots in all directions. The proposed severed and retained lots meet area frontage requirements of the rural zone. The proposed new lot fronts on Maxwell Road. The applicant must contact the township for an entrance permit for the construction of a driveway if one does not already exist. So you'll see in the sketch that was provided to you that they're using the existing hydro easement as their divider line. So that'll show in the survey when that's done as well. We received agency comments from Enbridge Mines, both stating no concerns. And we received a letter from council stating that they discussed this application at their January 28th council meeting and have no issues. And we did not receive any comments from the public on this application. So again, it's my recommendation that this application be approved with our usual conditions.
Okay, thank you for that, Carrie. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this application? And are there any questions from the board members for Carrie, since I don't see the applicant here? Okay, let's move on to number 3.
Okay, so our third application is 1B0724 from Debbie and John Robinson for their property, which is also located along Maxwell Road North in Conmee Township. This application is proposing a new lot just over 10 hectares in size, leaving a retained lot of 85.27 hectares. The subject property has frontage on Maxwell Road North in Conmee, designated as rural in the official plan and zone rural in the zoning bylaw. The properties again are abutted by additional rural lots in all directions. Frontage and area requirements of the rural zone are met in the proposed new lot and retained. As it fronts on Maxwell Road, the applicant will again need to contact the township for an entrance permit for a new driveway if one does not already exist. Agency comments on this file were also received from Enbridge, Mine, and Hydro One, again stating no concerns with the application. And we received a letter from council, also discussed at their January 28th meeting that they have no issues with this application. So again, it would be my recommendation that this application be approved with our usual conditions.
Okay, thank you. I see we have the applicant in attendance. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of this? If you have anything to add. Okay, is anyone who would like to speak in opposition? And are there any questions from the members of the board? Okay, thank you. And our last application.
Okay, this one's a little different because we have a minor variance, 1A0125 from Lappy Lutheran Church. So this application was submitted by Ian Smith, acting as the agent on behalf of Lappy Lutheran Church for the property known locally as 3215 Dog Lake Road. The applicant is requesting relief from zoning bylaw 02/2014, specifically section 3 of the rural zone regulations, to reduce the minimum lot area from 2 hectares down to 1.92 hectares, and to reduce the minimum lot frontage from 100 meters down to 90 meters. So the subject property fronts on Dog Lake Road or Highway 589 in Gorham Township, is designated as rural in the official plan and zoned both institutional and rural in the zoning bylaw. The properties are abutted by additional rural lots, with the church lot being institutional. So this application before the board is to meet a condition of consent on a new lot that was provisionally approved in October of 2024. This proposed new lot cannot meet the area and frontage requirements of the rural zone. So the 4 tests of a variance to determine whether or not it's minor and should be approved include whether or not the development is desirable and appropriate for the area, if the general intent of the zoning bylaw is maintained, if the general intent of the official plan is maintained, and then whether or not we would consider that to be minor. So this variance is considered minor in nature in that the intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw are maintained, and the variance would not have an adverse impact on the adjacent lands or uses. The applicant must work with the Gorham Roads Board to get an entrance for the proposed new lot if one does not already exist. We received agency comments again from Hydro One, Ministry of Mines, and Enbridge, all stating no concerns. And we did not receive any comments from the public. In this case, it would be my recommendation that the application be approved with 2 conditions. One being that the area does not go less than 1.92 hectares and that the frontage should not be less than 90 meters.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this application? And are there any questions for Carrie from the board for this application? Seeing none, that is everything for the public portion of our meeting. Can I get a mover and a seconder to adjourn the public portion of the meeting, please? David and Gordon, David Halverson. It's been moved and seconded that the February 6, 2025 public meeting of the Lakewood Rural Planning Board be adjourned, the time being 5:42 p.m. Anyone in opposition to this? Seeing none, we will move into our regular meeting. Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And can I get a mover and a seconder to approve the agenda, please? Elizabeth and Axel, it's been moved and seconded that the February 6, 2025 regular meeting of the Lakewood Rural Planning Board be open, the time being 5:42 p.m. Anyone in opposition? Seeing none, is there any disclosures of pecuniary interest?
I have none.
Seeing none, we have no deputation scheduled. Oh, wait, do we?
Sorry, there's another resolution to do the agenda approval.
Okay, oh,
Yeah, we should have that.
this one? Ah,
No.
okay. I thought we did the agenda already. All right.
Hmm.
No?
Open the meeting.
Well, it was
I open the meeting. Okay, now we need to do the agenda. Mover and a seconder, please. David and Elizabeth. It's been moved and seconded that the February 6, 2025 regular meeting agenda of the Lakewood Rural Planning Board be approved. Anyone in opposition? Seeing none? Okay. Now, we already did disclosures of pecuniary interest and there were none. We have no deputation scheduled, but we do have several bylaws and resolutions to look over. Let's do the first one. 1B/07/24, which is resolution 009-2025. Can I get a mover and a seconder for this one, please? Gordon and Elizabeth. It's been moved and seconded that the application 1B/07/24 from Jacob and Tamara Postumus for the property described as O'Connor Concession 2, South Part Lot 6, O'Connor, Geographic District of Thunder Bay, as set forth in the application, be approved with conditions. Is there any questions or comments on this application? Seeing none, all those in opposition? Seeing none, this application is approved. Number 2. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please, to open it? Axel and David West. It's been moved and seconded that the application 1B/08/24 from Tavine and William Ty for the property described as concession 2, part north half, lot 2, RP 55R6989, part 12 to 214, PCL 23200, Conmee Township, Geographic District of Thunder Bay, as set forth in the application, be approved with conditions. Is there any questions or comment on this application from the board? Seeing none, anyone in opposition? Seeing none, that one is hereby approved. And the third one, now I'm gonna move in a seconder, please. Gordon and Elizabeth, it's been moved and seconded that the application, oh, just lost it here. Hang on. Had it disappeared. 1 second. All right. Been moved and seconded the application 1B/09/24 from Debbie and John Robinson for the property described as Conme concession for part of lot 2 RP 55R4904 part 5 part 3 PCL 25023 TBF Conme Township Geographic District of Thunder Bay as set forth in the application be approved with conditions. Is there any question or comment on this one? Seeing none, is there anyone in opposition to this application? Seeing none, all right, congratulations, Mr. Robinson. You have your approval. I don't know if there's anything you'd like to add, Carrie?
So John, I will send you your notice of decision next week by email. And then you'll have a 20-day appeal period that follows, and you have 2 years to meet those conditions. And if you have any questions, you can just give me a call.
Thanks.
Thank you for attending. Okay, and the last application before us this evening, can I get a mover and a seconder to open it up, please? David Halverson and Elizabeth, it's been moved and seconded that the application 18/01/25 from Ian Smith acting as agent on behalf of Lappy Lutheran Church for the property described as concession 3 North Part, lot 17, including RP 55R7843 Part 2 PCL 5173 and 23670 TBF Gorham Township, locally known as 3215 Dog Lake Road, Gorham Township, Geographic District of Thunder Bay, as set forth in the application, be approved with conditions. Is there any question or comment on this application? Seeing none. Oh, wait.
Could I just ask one little question?
Go ahead.
How often, like, how small would we be willing to let it go down? Like, is there any set standard that we have that we'll just say, no, it's too small or anything like that?
Typically we follow a 10% rule, if it's within 10% of the
Mhm.
requirement, but it's always on a case-by-case basis. If it's
Okay.
really extravagant, then I would recommend zoning amendment, but in this case, the board had already approved the consent knowing that these numbers were coming. So
Okay. That's all. Thanks.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing no other question or comments, anyone in opposition to this application? Seeing none, that application is approved. All right, next on our agenda is procedural bylaw review.
okay, so I do apologize because I did your short resolutions out of order. So it's gonna be Tara first and then procedure, but we'll do the procedural bylaw. So this is just another one of those annual reviews. The procedural bylaw was sent to everyone. If anyone has any changes that they want to propose, or any questions that they want to discuss, then that's what we're doing. Otherwise, we will leave the bylaw as is.
Okay. I don't actually have a resolution for that, but that's.
Number 14?
PDF 14 number, yeah.
Nope. I don't have one, not in the resolutions you sent us this afternoon.
Interesting.
On
I
this.
have that one.
Okay. I just have the tariff of fees, but that's fine. We can, I can
Okay.
imagine what it says, so.
I have it.
Okay, can I get a mover and a seconder for the resolution to review our bylaws? David and Gordon? So it's been, actually, if you could read it, since you do have it in front of you, Carrie.
Absolutely. It says that the Lakehead Rural Planning Board approves the procedural bylaw as presented.
Mhm.
Any questions or comments? Like Carrie said, a bit of a formality. Anyone in opposition to this resolution? Seeing none, we will move on to the tariff of fees bylaw.
This one is the same, just the annual review. I did not flag any of our costs as something that we need to change. But if anyone has any recommendations or questions, we can review it.
Has the LRCA service fee, the official plan amendment, like did any like I know some of those fees were going up. Is that reflected in here?
We haven't received any updated fees yet from them,
Okay.
so these are still the current ones.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we do have a resolution. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? David and Axel, it's been moved and seconded that the Lake Rural Planning Board approves the tariff of fee bylaws as presented. Anyone in opposition? Seeing none, that is approved. Next item on our agenda is the minutes of the previous meeting from November 7th, 2024. You've all had a chance to have a look at them. And I will call for a mover and a seconder to get them on the floor. David West and David Halverson. It's been moved and seconded. Lake Rural Planning Board approves the minutes of the November 7th, 2024 regular meeting as presented. Is there any questions or comments or concerns about these minutes? Seeing none, great job, Terry. I will call the question. Is there anyone in opposition to approving the minutes? Seeing none, thank you. Minutes are approved. Do we have any matters arising from the minutes? No. Okay, that's simple. The next one is a scope change from JL Richards.
So I spoke with David Wellwood earlier in January. So he outlined basically their because the project has taken longer than was planned, their hourly rates were originally from 2023, which have since increased. They're over budget, $5,995, to which they're proposing to cover 50% of that overage, which leaves us with another overage of $2,977.50. And then the remainder of the project itself is the $13,961.30. And then they've added some travel expenses to that, just under $3,000, leaving our total cost still to pay for this project $16,761.30 plus HST and a 7% admin fee. So that hopefully will finish this project out. Obviously, with the province in the writ right now, I'm not sure what kind of pushback we have for a deadline now. I haven't spoken with them since that happened, but that is the value that I'm aware of at this time.
Okay, thank you. Questions, concerns? I guess it is what it is. We don't really have. It has taken longer than they expected and we expected, so. Okay.
Well, just
Go ahead, Gordon.
just as an observation, Nebing submitted their official plan in August of 23. And in January of 25, they submitted it to the minister for signing. And then they called the election. And so after they submit it to the ministry as being complete, I have zero faith that the things move smooth. Just a comment.
Thank you for that encouragement, Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. David, go ahead.
I missed a few of the meetings. I was just wondering if there was possibly what's the result of like the Fort William First Nation pushing back so much with what's happening. Just from what I'm reading, it seems to be between the ministry and the Fort William First Nation, both kind of keep pushing multiple questions back and comments.
So since they provided us with this scope change, they have received the comments from Fort William First Nation, and they're okay with everything that the draft looks like now. So it is now with the province.
Okay.
We just obviously have no timeline for that. But there was just comments to make sure that we were honoring what they were hoping to see in the document. So, and it looks like our consultants were able to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Seeing none, we will move on to the next item. Do we have any correspondence?
We have to do a resolution for that, please.
We do have a resolution for that? Okay.
Yes.
That. There's another one I don't have a resolution for.
What is happening? I printed the same document.
Mhm.
I'll read it. Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Okay, that the Lakehead Rural Planning Board approves the scope change provided by JL Richards respecting the official plan and zoning bylaw project.
Mhm.
I guess we need a mover and a seconder for that resolution. David and David. You've heard the resolution, we've discussed it. Is there anyone in opposition to this resolution? Seeing none, the scope change is approved.
May I ask an administrative question of the board?
Yes.
So, on resolutions like this, we never put who has to sign anything off. And on the scope change itself, it does require a signature, but it just says client approval. So am I okay to sign that, or would the chair sign that?
I'm okay with you signing it. I don't know if anyone else has a different opinion.
I didn't know if that's something that I should be putting in the resolution, like,
David?
Usually we ask that either the chair or like at our meetings, it's the mayor or the clerk. So you would be our treasurer. Should we say that either the chair or the treasurer, secretary and treasurer would
execute
be able to
them?
sign?
Okay.
If we just put that in there, then it covers our butts.
I can add that if that's,
Okay, if it's okay with the mover and seconder, that we amend the motion to do that.
Mhm.
We do have that. It's a little bit convoluted way to do it, but that's okay.
sorry.
No, that's fine. Okay, no, that's understood then.
Okay.
Okay. Now we can move on to correspondence, if any.
There's none.
No, that's easy.
Yeah.
New business, approved 2025 budget.
Okay, so the budget was sent out to everyone. We know for sure that we did not get special business case funding for this year. That is the only thing that I know for sure so far. But if there's any other concerns or questions about anything on there, we can certainly talk about that.
How long has it been since we've had a levy change?
Several years.
Yes, I have not been around for one.
Okay, so should we consider it because everything goes up, and I'm sure those levies would help with whatever Carrie has to do in the office, I'm pretty sure. Like if that's where the money can go, like I'm not saying it needs to be a drastic increase, but if we got like $25 even extra from everybody, like everybody's fees are going up. I don't see a reason why, in this day and age that we shouldn't see an increase in our levies. We do have increased costs, as you can see, that we just had to approve for finishing off our official plan. So it's just a thought.
So if I can add to that, we have actually received the $250 payment from every municipality already. But it's certainly something that I can put on our agenda closer to the end of the year so that we can make sure that that's in place if that's what the board wants to do prior to 2026 invoices going out.
We did just approve our tariff of fees bylaw several minutes ago, so.
Yeah, my only comment is I think that needs a little more discussion than just at this meeting, because we're working on our budget now and we're not as rich as Conme, so that $25 is important to us. And so I think that this is something I couldn't approve without taking it to council. So we need some time.
Mhm.
Okay. we could put a pin in that, Carrie, and maybe bring it up back in, oh, I don't know, October or something, that would be appropriate.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on the budget? Seeing none, can I get a mover and a seconder to approve the budget? Elizabeth and Gordon, it's been moved and seconded that the Lake Erie Planning Board approves the budget for 2025 as presented. Anyone in opposition? Seeing none, the budget is hereby approved. I do not believe we have any need for a closed session, do we?
No.
Which negates the matters arising from closed session.
Mhm.
And is there anything else for this meeting, Carrie?
Nothing from me, no.
Hey, is there anyone else from anyone else? Yeah, go ahead, Gordon.
Any hint of the meeting next month?
One moment. I don't believe so right now. Nothing right now. I may have one.
Okay.
The next Friday is the deadline.
Oh, okay.
Anything else from anyone else?
Mhm.
Seeing nothing, can I get a mover and a seconder for the adjournment, please? David West and Elizabeth, it's been moved and seconded that the February 6, 2025 regular meeting of the Lake Erie Planning Board be adjourned. The time being 6:01 p.m. Is there anyone in opposition to this? Seeing none. Thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your frozen wintry day to this day like today really makes it nice not to have to travel even as far as
Mhm.
it's not very far to our municipal office, but no. All right, thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of what the season has to offer.
Yeah.
Just freeze frozen things.